On a cold Monday morning in Ohio, Mark opens his laptop before work. It is 5:47 a.m. The house is quiet. His coffee is cheap and already cold. He clicks refresh on his dashboard, hoping today will finally be different. 6 months ago, he started a side hustle after watching a late-night video that promised freedom, extra income, and control over his future. The video said anyone in America could do it with effort and consistency. Today, his earnings still read zero. By the end of the year, Mark will quietly shut everything down and never talk about it again. Mark is not lazy. He is not stupid. He is normal. And that is exactly why his side hustle will fail. Every year in the United States, millions of people start side hustles with strong intentions. They want breathing room. They want to stop worrying every time groceries get more expensive. They want to build something of their own without quitting their job. The idea feels responsible. It feels smart. It feels like the American way. But statistics tell a harsh story. Most side hustles in America do not survive past the first year. Many disappear without ever producing meaningful income. The problem usually starts at the very beginning, with the promise. Side hustles are sold as shortcuts. They are marketed as flexible, fast, and low effort. People are told they can work 1 hour a day and see results in weeks. This creates a dangerous expectation. When Americans begin their side hustle journey, they expect momentum quickly. When progress is slow, doubt grows fast. What they do not realize is that most legitimate income models move painfully slow in the beginning. In the first few months, side hustles often feel invisible. No one clicks, no one buys, no one responds. The effort feels one-sided. Many Americans interpret this silence as failure instead of reality. They quit not because the idea cannot work, but because the early phase does not reward emotion. It rewards discipline. Time becomes the next enemy. Most side hustles are built after work, late at night, or early in the morning. After a full day of responsibilities, energy is already low. The plan was to work daily, but daily becomes occasionally. Occasionally becomes weekends only. Then weeks pass without action. The side hustle does not die loudly. It fades quietly through inconsistency. Another story repeats itself across the country. A woman in Texas starts selling a service she enjoys. She assumes others will want it too. She never checks demand. She never tests pricing. She builds based on preference, not proof. When sales do not come, she blames the economy or timing. In reality, the market never asked for what she built. In America, demand decides survival. Passion alone does not pay bills. Pricing mistakes destroy many side hustles before they mature. Some people underprice themselves badly. They believe low prices will attract more customers. What they attract instead are people who do not value the service. The work becomes exhausting and unprofitable. Others overprice without building trust or demonstrating results. In a competitive American market, customers move quickly. Confusion kills conversions. Skills gaps are another silent killer. Side hustles often fail not because the idea is wrong, but because execution is weak. Communication mistakes push customers away. Disorganization leads to missed deadlines. Poor planning creates stress. Many Americans assume effort is enough. They forget that skills must grow with responsibility. When mistakes pile up, confidence collapses. Burnout arrives faster than expected. Hustle culture encourages people to sacrifice everything for progress. Sleep is reduced. Family time disappears. The side hustle becomes a burden instead of an opportunity. Without boundaries, motivation turns into resentment. Eventually, shutting down feels like relief. In America, many side hustles end not because they failed financially, but because they failed emotionally. Platform dependency is another trap. People build income on platforms they do not control. Algorithms change, reach disappears, accounts get limited, income drops overnight. When a side hustle depends entirely on a single platform, stability is an illusion. Many Americans confuse visibility with ownership. When the platform shifts, their entire effort collapses. Fear also plays a role. As income grows slightly, questions appear. Taxes, reporting, record keeping, compliance. Instead of learning, many avoid. The side hustle becomes stressful rather than empowering. Quitting feels safer than organizing. Another overlooked reason is lack of clear purpose. People say they want extra income, but they never define the number. They never define the timeline. They never define why. Without clarity, effort becomes scattered. Scattered effort produces inconsistent results. Inconsistent results destroy belief. Feedback is often ignored. Customers give signals constantly. They stop responding. They do not return. They ask similar questions repeatedly. These are messages. Many side hustlers take feedback personally instead of strategically. They defend instead of adjusting. The market moves on while they stay stuck. Money management mistakes finish the job. Some reinvest aggressively without stability. Others refuse to invest anything at all. Growth requires balance. When money is mismanaged, stress increases. Stress leads to shutdown. And then there is quitting too early. The first year is the hardest for almost every legitimate side hustle in America. Systems are messy, income is inconsistent, confidence is fragile. Most people quit right before progress compounds. They never see the version that works because they stop during the version that teaches. By the end of the first year, most side hustles disappear quietly. No announcement, no lesson shared, just another browser tab closed forever. Not because Americans cannot succeed, but because success demands patience, structure, and realism that most were never taught. This is why most side hustles in America fail after 1 year, not from lack of opportunity, but from misunderstanding the process. 1 year later, Mark looks very different. He still wakes up early, but now he knows why. His laptop opens to a simple system, not hope. The side hustle that almost died now produces steady income. It did not explode, it stabilized. That is the difference. The side hustles that survive in America past 1 year follow a different path from the beginning. They are built slower, but stronger. The people behind them stop chasing fast wins and start building boring foundations. They understand that survival comes before growth. Consistency comes before scale. The first shift is expectation. Successful side hustlers stop asking how fast money will come and start asking how long they can stay consistent. They accept that the first months are for learning, not earning. In the United States, markets reward reliability over excitement. When effort continues without immediate reward, most people quit. The few who stay become visible simply because everyone else disappears. Time management becomes intentional. Survivors do not rely on motivation. They block small, realistic time windows they can repeat weekly. 30 focused minutes daily beats 3 chaotic hours once a week. Side hustles grow through rhythm, not intensity. Americans who build routines instead of pushing bursts last longer. Market validation becomes a priority. Instead of building in silence, successful side hustlers test early. They talk to real people. They observe what problems repeat. They adjust offers before scaling effort. In America, feedback is free if you listen early. The side hustles that survive do not guess. They confirm. Pricing becomes grounded in value. Survivors price to sustain effort, not to attract everyone. They understand that low prices create pressure and high prices require proof. They choose clarity over manipulation. Customers trust what they understand. Trust keeps businesses alive longer than hype. Skill building becomes continuous. The people who last treat their side hustle as education. They improve communication, organization, and delivery. They track mistakes and fix systems. Instead of feeling embarrassed by errors, they treat them as data. In America, the learning curve rewards humility. Burnout is managed intentionally. Survivors protect sleep, relationships, and mental space. They understand that a side hustle is useless if it destroys the person running it. They work within limits and design sustainability. Hustle without recovery leads to collapse. Balance extends longevity. Platform risk is reduced. Successful side hustles avoid dependence on a single channel. They collect contact information ethically. They diversify traffic sources. They build ownership slowly. In America, control equals stability. When platforms shift, survivors adapt instead of panicking. Legal clarity replaces fear. Survivors learn basic compliance early. They track income. They organize records. They remove uncertainty. When fear disappears, confidence grows. Many side hustles fail not from difficulty, but from avoidance. Survivors replace avoidance with order. Goals become specific. Survivors define numbers, timelines, and reasons. They know what success looks like this month, not someday. Clear targets guide action. Vague dreams drain energy. In America, clarity multiplies focus. Feedback becomes a tool, not a threat. Survivors watch behavior, not opinions. They adjust offers based on results. They do not argue with data. When customers leave, they ask why. When customers stay, they learn why. Markets teach constantly to those who listen. Money is managed patiently. Survivors reinvest slowly and intentionally. They avoid emotional spending. They grow with revenue, not dreams. Stability beats speed. Side hustles collapse when expenses outrun proof. Survivors let results lead decisions. Most importantly, survivors stay longer than others. They do not quit during the uncomfortable middle. They understand that the first year tests commitment more than ideas. When others stop, competition shrinks. Opportunity expands quietly. Mark did not become rich. He became stable. His side hustle pays bills without stress. It grows without panic. It fits into his life instead of consuming it. That is the real success most Americans never see online. Side hustles that survive past 1 year in America are not louder. They are calmer. They are not exciting. They are dependable. They are built by people who respected time, learned from mistakes, and refused shortcuts. The difference between failure and survival is not intelligence or privilege. It is patience applied consistently. Anyone willing to build slowly, ethically, and realistically can outlast the noise. That is how side hustles survive after 1 year in America.